This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir? Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir.
Anushri, please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, Anushri, you are from Lucknow and you did chemistry.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about your qualities.
Sir, I am a dedicated person who...
Dedicated in what respect?
dedicated in whatever I am assigned, the duty that I'm assigned. And I'm also good at task prioritization. And I have been a good mentor previously.
Good mentor.
Yes, sir.
So, whom do you normally mentor?
So in IIT Bombay, we had academic mentorship programs.
Okay.
So we were supposed to mentor sophomores, being a third year graduate.
And how does it help them?
So it helps them to have to help in time management, extracurricular activities. They can often not interact so frankly with the professors, but they will interact with better with somebody who is of their age. So that is how it helps them.
Okay. And you are also from Lucknow.
Yes, sir. I am from Lucknow.
Have you gone through the budget of the UP government this time?
No, sir.
No?
But I'll go through it.
Okay. So, how do others see in you as a person? If I were to ask your friends what is so great in Anushri, what would they say?
So they would say that I'm straightforward. Okay. I'm quite frank. I don't sugarcoat. I think that is the first primary thing that they'll say.
Okay. So, most of your friends know that you don't take no nonsense?
Most of them.
Okay. Good. So, Anushri, you did chemistry
Yes, sir.
and you chose it as an optional.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of quantum chemistry?
Yes, sir.
So, what is quantum chemistry and how is it different from the normal chemistry that we studied?
So normal chemistry says that there's the electrons, they are particle forms. Normally we say electrons are particles negatively charged, but quantum chemistry says that electrons show dual behavior, particle and wave behavior. That is the base of quantum chemistry. Then it also shows about the cat experiment, cat in the box, a thought experiment, that a particle can have two states of matter, two states simultaneously. So these are the two basic.
So, what does the term quantum mean?
So quantum means any amount. Quanta basically, for example.
Quantum physics is there.
Yes.
Quantum chemistry is there.
Yes, sir. So the word comes from quantized energy or the quantized lambda. So there is this, according to Bohr's theory, MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi. That is the orbital angular momentum is quantized always of an electron. So that from there the quantum word comes.
So, if I talk to you about quantum computing, is it the same of the definition that you spoke?
So quantum computing basically says that a particle is entangled and it represents 0 and 1 in the same time.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also done English lexicon.
Yes, sir. That's a hobby.
So, what is the characteristics of English lexicon?
So lexicon is a repository of rare sophisticated words it actually enriches the vocabulary.
So, why would somebody go through the English lexicon?
So for me, I think it would be a good way to express in a more nuanced way. For example, if we say there are two words called shock and consternation. Consternation is also somehow means shock, but then when one says consternation, it is shock along with a feeling of dismay, terror. So in taking a more nuanced approach and expressing more clearly will help if one is well versed with the lexicon.
So in English lexicon, have you come across the term orthography?
Orthography. So it sounds like something related to, in medical term, I would like to take a guess that it would be bones related to bones.
Okay. read about it. The
Yes, sir,
certain characteristics of English lexicon. One of it is orthography.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Have you gone through the parliamentary committee report on UPSC just a day or two back?
Sorry, sir, I have not read it, but I'll look into it.
Even if you have not read it, there is a recommendation that the urban candidates and the rural candidates are being treated differently by the UPSC. Since you come from Lucknow, I'm asking you this question. What do you feel about it? The parliamentary committee says that there is a differentiation between the candidates coming from urban areas and those who are rural educated candidates. So what are your views on it?
So I feel from the side of UPSC, they try to do it.
From your side, I'm not interested in what UPSC thinks. Parliamentary committee has already given its recommendations to UPSC. What is your view on this?
So I think UPSC provides a level playing field because most all the examinations except the prelims is conducted in multilingual terms. Most of the rural candidates, the first problem for them is non-availability of vernacular language. So one thing that could be improved perhaps could be making prelims also multilingual.
Okay. Thank you, Anushri.
Thank you so much.
Nice talking.
Okay, Miss Anushri Sachan, you are from Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful place, Lucknow. Tell me about Lucknow.
So Lucknow is rightly known as the city of Nawabs because of the influence of Nawab starting from Safdarjung. It is also very famously known for its Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, comes from river Ganga and Yamuna. It actually represents the syncretic culture that has evolved because of the Hindu rulers and Muslim rulers. For example, the Tazia, which is a portable shrine during Muharram, is made by Hindu workers. The Garara and the cuisine that we have come across, the language of Shairi. So this epitomizes not just the culture but also the Hindu-Muslim unity.
Good. Our Honorable Prime Minister has just said that Uttar Pradesh is the growth engine of nation. Do you agree with him?
Yes, I
how?
concur with him because Uttar Pradesh has a huge potential owing to the demographic dividend. It has a population of about 23 crores. And recently the Global Investor Summit happened where the Uttar Pradesh managed to get 33 lakh crores of investment. There is dedicated freight corridor. So an ODOP, that is one district, one program, can be also implemented. For example, Mirzapur for carpet. So that's how it can become growth engine of the country.
Tell me something about the expressways, the airports, the defense corridor, if you have some idea about it.
Yes, sir, there is a defense corridor, actually two simultaneous, one in Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh, both going on.
Okay.
And
some airport already operationalized and some are under construction. What are they?
Yes, sir, but I'm not able to recall the name of the airport and the expressway at this point of time.
Expressways also?
Yes, sir, but I'll read about it.
Okay, you mentioned about one district, one product. What is the product from Lucknow?
Chicken kari kurta.
So, I mean, what is the impact of this program vis-a-vis export earning and all these things? Had it really affected?
So the vision and mission behind the ODOP was the Prime Minister's strong message, local to global and vocal for local. And they are leaps and strides in this step for export also especially because of the Indian diaspora staying abroad. They still are connected to the cultural roots, so there is a lot of demand for the chicken embroidery, and that's how it has.
Which state having one district, two products?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about it. But
one station, one product?
One station, one. I'm not able to recall it, sir.
Railways has recently achieved a very good target has been achieved, rare target, recently in Uttar Pradesh. Can you recall?
No, sir.
Railways.
But I'll read about it.
What do you understand by rare earth elements?
So rare earth elements are the group period 6 and 7 elements. These are a group of 13 elements like lanthanum, cesium, and they are extremely important because they are used in screens, X-ray machines also. But the biggest hindrance right now is that mostly it is imported from China. China has a huge dominance, which is why it makes it vulnerable to supply chain. India also has some. So this is my knowledge of rare.
Lithium has been discovered by Geological Survey of India. Has where which state?
So it's present in Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir and Mandya district of Karnataka.
What do you understand by biotechnology?
So biotechnology is where technology is furthered with the help of biological knowledge and the biology that happens in the environment. For example, development of pharmaceuticals with the help of natural products. In fact, this year Nobel Prize in Chemistry was given to a biotechnology called orthogonal reactions also. Biotechnology has helped in creating artificial organs also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Anushri.
Hello, sir.
Earlier in the interview, when sir asked you about your characteristics, you said you are a fairly straightforward person and you don't sugarcoat. And you also aspire to be a diplomat. IFS is your second choice. Don't you think diplomat is, completely opposite? They have to sugarcoat a lot of things because they can't be straightforward in lots of issues. So do you think that you can be a good diplomat?
So I think our current Minister of External Affairs is a perfect example of somebody who is no nonsense taker. At the same time, he does it in a very diplomatic way. For example, in the recent border crisis, hitherto, that is until now, he was mentioning India-China is abnormal and unusual, but now he said it's quite fragile and dangerous. So I think a diplomat can be somebody who is straightforward.
Very right. So also the second aspect that you talked earlier, English lexicon, you said that it gives nuance to the conversation. But I feel that it actually makes something very complex. The language should be as simple as possible. If you are into writing, fair enough. There the nuances are understandable. But in day-to-day conversation, I think the more simpler the communication, the better it is.
So I think every coin has two sides. And with the lexicon, there is definitely this downside of it. Given that foreign services is my second choice, I think nuanced approach with a little bit of complexity is required. And there the lexicon knowledge will be.
Very right. I think it's going to be very useful in your career as a foreign officer. Good. So you are from IIT Bombay. Controversy is going on regarding caste issue. So can you elaborate what is happening there?
So recently, a very, very unfortunate incident of death of one of the chemical engineering graduates happened. He has committed suicide. It was earlier said that there was a caste discrimination, but the internal committee of IIT Bombay said that it was because of his own academic performance. But today only, there is a new turn to the court, to the whole matter. Police has found a suicide note where he has accused one of his classmates, and there's a WhatsApp conversation also. So at this point of time, it's very inconclusive and it's very early to say whether it was caste discrimination or his performance or what kind of altercation happened between the classmate and him.
Okay, so you have worked as a mentor.
Yes.
And have you, when you were engaged in mentoring, come across any such incident where a junior or your mentee had expressed such kind of a concern?
So fortunately enough, I haven't come across it. But before assigning the job of mentorship, we are trained to handle such situations.
So do you think that caste discrimination actually exists in these institutes?
Caste discrimination in a subtle way does take place.
Can you elaborate how is that subtle?
For example, lot of time asking rank amounts to asking caste. So that is very subtle. Other is physical isolation, not letting them being part of the group. The other form of new type of caste discrimination has been that some children, they justify the other type of reservation like girls reservation in IIT or the EWS, but they're against the other type of reservation left. So these three are primary.
So how should we tackle this? What is the approach here?
So there are two types of approach. First is helping the victims. For that, IIT Bombay already has the SC/ST cell. But apart from that, I think there should be a dedicated faculty advisors to these students, so that they could come up with problems of such kind. And there should be also a monthly report on what are the complaints, and it should be displayed how they are resolved. And other is caste sensitization course for everyone as a compulsory credit course.
Okay, my last question to you. December 7th, you were born on December 7th.
Sir, I beg your pardon.
December 7th,
Yes, sir,
you were
thank
born on. Any historical significance of that date?
Sir, Pearl Harbor attack happened on December 7th.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You talked about the success of BharatNet. Like, BharatNet has done a tremendous job. Please tell us the success of BharatNet.
So the BharatNet is a still ongoing project. As far as the success is concerned, we can say that it has deeply...
The exact number of panchayats that it has penetrated.
So I'm not able to recall the number right now.
Tell us the recent political developments in Nepal and how will it affect India?
So the main government which was guided by Prachand, who is the current Prime Minister, is on the verge of falling. That is what I know as of now.
The new appointment of President, are you aware about these things?
Yes, sir, but I'm not. I have a very basic idea about it.
But you belong to Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Uttar Pradesh shares its boundary with Nepal.
Yes, sir,
and you have filled IFS as a second option.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, but I'll read about it
Sure.
definitely.
You see, Nepal came up with cartographic aggression during Kala Pani issue.
Yes.
Do you think it was the fault of India that propelled Nepal to do something like this?
So I think India was not at fault. For India, its own sovereignty integrity is of essential matter, and it is because of the dynamics of politics changing within the Nepal that compelled them to take such an action.
But you see, there were certain news which said that the visit of the Defence Minister of India to the strategic locations and publicizing it, they could have done it low. Why to bring such issues on a wider scale when you already know that the international relations are very fragile, especially given the location of China, a strategic location there?
So the visit of Defence Minister could have done it right, but sometimes to assert the sovereignty, we need to publicize the issue.
But do we really need to assert our sovereignty nearby Nepal location, boundary of Nepal?
We were asserting sovereignty on our land. That is what I can say.
You tell us 5 inventions in the field of chemistry that revolutionized humanity.
So the 5 inventions, first will be penicillin. It was actually discovered by mistake. That second would be saccharin, that is used as a substitute of sugar for the diabetic people. The third would be the CAR technology for cancer. Fourth, so I'm not able to recall.
Okay, no issue. Explain this room to us from the prism of chemistry.
This room is almost a cubic lattice with face-centered dynamics. This is actually part of solid state.
In a solid state, yeah.
And then there's a lot of oxygen, O2 in this room. I'm also feeling very humid, so the probability that H2O is also present and the temperature is moderate.
Okay, my last question. Should India join AUKUS?
So I think right now is not the right time for that. Right now, we should take our time to assess how it goes, and then we should think about it.
But look, India has joined Quad. So what's the issue in not joining AUKUS?
AUKUS is actually AUKUS has been vociferously a military grouping, whereas Quad has not been. And India's strategy is to remain sovereign and individual as far as military standing is concerned.
Thank you.